everybody, and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel. This is just a short video about playing with your back to goal. Really, it's I mentioned yesterday when I said I'd do a show this morning. I said that I would do a show about Anthony Martial. United brought Anthony Martial on as a substitute against Watford with about 20-25 minutes to go. And I'd made a remark on Twitter about 10 minutes before that, where I said United need to get Anthony Martial. We need somebody to get hold of the ball. And what was happening is United weren't under extreme pressure, but they were leading 1-0. And at 1-0, obviously it's a very, very narrow lead. No matter who you're playing against, at any moment you could, they could get a goal out of anything. A free kick, a corner, just a long ball up the field, it can just happen. So, and again, and I'm not saying Watford would have had to resort to that anyway. They were playing well enough. So, as a coach, you are concerned that they're going to get an equaliser, and obviously you don't want them to get an equaliser. What you need to get more play. You need to get hold of the ball in their half of the field and get a few passes in, and to do that, you need a striker who you can hit with the ball, who can bring it down and then can either find another pass, or he can turn and find a pass, bring players into play, or get hit from the back and win a free kick. If you get a free kick, it gives you defenders a breather, it gives you midfield players a breather, people can come up the field, and you're even thinking, when it is, 25 minutes to go and it's 1-0, you don't need to rush anything. When I say that, you're taking time out of the game. I know this is Manchester United versus Watford, and they're expected to beat Watford. But at 1-0, one thing's for absolute certain, you don't need to rush anything. So even though I'm not saying the time wasting, and maybe not even planning to take time out of the game, they're definitely not going to rush anything. You can trust me on that. They're definitely not in a rush to do anything. So I'm not going to say that they're going to waste time. No one's in danger of getting a yellow card for wasting time. That's not happening. But when the ball's getting played up to your centre forward, if he wins a free kick, there's no doubt about it that that's taking, how long does it take by the time people get in position? 20 or 30 seconds perhaps. It's taking half a minute out of a game that's only got 20 minutes to play. And all these little things all add up, and they all help, and they all help teams to remain in charge of a game. Even though it's the team that you should be beating anyway, you do need to take these things into account. And the more often that they get hold of the ball, the more chance that they've got of scoring. So you need players who play well with the back, you certainly need a player who you can hit with the ball, who can hold it up and allow your team to get up the field. And as I say, takes time out of the game as well as anything else. And obviously from these situations, you've got more chance of scoring yourselves. You've got more chance of scoring if you've got a free kick, if your team have got hold of the ball. So not only is it making it more difficult for them, but there's also a chance that you could get something from it. So you've got to get hold of the ball. So these few clips that I'm going to put up they'll be on Rick the Red UK on Twitter by this afternoon. So a few clips showing what I was talking about at the time that I said it, about needing someone to get hold of the ball. And I'll show two clips of two of our players not getting hold of the ball when they should get hold of the ball. And then I'm going to show Anthony Martial coming on and then getting the ball. And I'm going to talk through the four clips now. And as I say, some of these, the clips are not exactly the same. No, I've just watched one. It's all from one half of a game. It was in the second half where I said we need to get hold of the ball. So if you're coaching that team, you want to send somebody on who can get hold of that ball. So none of these situations are exactly the same. No two situations in a game of football are exactly the same anyway. But they've all got a similarity. The two about Anthony, they're not exactly the same, but they will make the point of what the first two videos, what the players should be doing in the first two videos. So the first video that I'll put up, the first little clip on Twitter, you'll see Jesse Lingard on the left wing, about 5 yards inside United's half, facing his own goal. When you're facing your goal, you've got to get the ball down on the floor if it comes to you. ball gets kicked up by the keeper. In the clip, you can see that it's not a sudden thing. It's not like Jesse's got to react suddenly. He can see the ball coming to him. He's thinking about what he's going to do before the ball comes to him. And the ball's coming to him through the air, and he's standing in front of the ball. He can see it coming, and at the last moment, he turns side on, and they call it in the game hanging a leg out, and he puts a right leg up towards the ball. He gets a touch on it with his right boot, and the ball continues on its trajectory towards their goal, and Jesse turns and chases after it, and he hasn't got a chance, and their defender gets it and kicks it back to his keeper. It's wrong in so many ways. You need your player to get hold of it. That's the first thing. The ball's coming to you, you can see it's coming. You've got to have it in your mind that you're going to control this ball. And don't even worry about what you're going to do with it after that. They've got defenders behind you. If you kill that ball properly in front of you, they can't take it from you. They can't take it from you. They will come through the back of you, you'll get a free kick. On the very odd occasion, they might get a toe in between your legs. But in general, you get that ball on the floor, they won't get around you and get it off you. You've got to kill it, then you can pass it, or they'll come into the back of you and you'll get a free kick. So if you're watching that happen as a coach, you will be thinking, get hold of it. You've got to get hold of that. So he's hanging a leg out, he's touching it on, and if you think about it, watch the clip maybe a couple of times. What's the best that can happen? When Jesse sees that ball coming through the air, he doesn't know what's behind him. All he does know for sure is this is I nearly said Premier League football then, but these are sixth in the Championship. It's not like you're playing against an amateur team or something like that. They're going to have defenders behind you. So what is he thinking? What's the benefit? What's the best thing that can happen? You hang a leg out and you flick it that way. They're going to have defenders that way. The pace on the ball, how far is it going to travel? So what you're doing is so hairy-fairy. It's just useless. There's no virtually impossible really for any benefit to come from it. Hanging a leg out, flicking it on, having to turn and chase it, and it's already up the field where they're going to have defenders behind you. He doesn't really know what's behind him, so it's just no good. You've got to get the ball on the floor, get it under, and then worry about what you're going to do next. In the second clip, you'll see Mason Greenwood receive the ball in the left wing position, in an attacking position. And there's a bit of it's a bit unlucky in the first bit, but I think Mason's trying to play a crossfield ball to Wan-Bissaka, and it's a little bit hopeful really, and it goes up into the air, and it goes into United's half actually, and our centre back, I think it's Axel has to challenge for it in the air, but the ball comes back to Mason, and Mason's still on the left wing. There's a defender or a midfield player probably for Watford not far in front of Mason, and there's a defender behind him, but it does come over that midfield player's head, and a little bit like the Jesse situation, he can see the ball coming, so he's making his mind up what he's going to do. I don't know if I said that about Jesse. Jesse's decided to do that. It's your decision making in the game. That ball that's coming to Jesse while it's coming through the air, at what point does he decide, I'm going to turn and flick this? What does he decide that at the last moment? As it's coming to him, has he already decided, I'm not going to try and kill it, I'm going to try and turn and flick it? I really don't get it. So this ball, Mason, as I say, he's just made a bit of a mess of his, tried a crossfield pass that almost, well, it did, it went towards our own goal. Axel heads it back. It's dropping to Mason, and Mason can see it coming. Now, especially because he's just made it, well, not really especially because of that, you need to do this anyway. But in a situation where you've just made a bit of a mess of it, you'd think, wow, I've got a great chance instantly to rectify the situation. And as it's dropping to him, again, there's a defender behind him. He should just get his body there and just control the ball. Just control it. Control it. That's the first job that you've got to do. And then worry about what you're going to do next once you've controlled it. Don't be trying to beat somebody or run forward or whatever it is you're thinking of doing while you're turning and trying to get the ball under control at the same time as you are turning. That's what Jesse did. I mean, whether he was trying to get it under control or flick it on to chase it, whatever it was he was trying to do, he's actually trying to do it while he's turning. So if you watch this one with Mason, he's turning this way, and he, like I said before, hanging a leg out like Jesse did, he hangs a leg out. And you can tell, again, maybe watch it a couple of times, you can see that he brings his left leg down as if he's trying to cushion the ball to go this way. And it's such a difficult thing to do. And not only that, there's a defender 2 or 3 yards, and he knows that defender will be there. He's just been in that position to receive from a throw-in. He knows there's a player there. You just do when you're on the field. So even if he gets it dead right, the defender's going to be on him in a flash. There's a defender 3 yards away. So turning and getting the ball under control with your left foot, hanging a leg out, and trying to bring it down as you turn, it's wrong. And I don't know who's doing the coaching at United for the strikers, but that has got to be improved upon, and you've got to get hold of the ball. We need players to get hold of the ball and start to build up, and he might get, if he controls it, that defender might come into his back, he wins a free kick. If he doesn't come into his back, he's got time to look and to pass it. But hanging a leg out and trying to turn as you're taking it under control is just the wrong thing to do. So that's what one clip of Jesse doing that, one thing of Mason doing that. Now, like I say, no two things are exactly the same, so I can't find an exact replica. I'm not going to find an exact replica, but I'm going to put 2 clips up of Anthony Martial doing what he was told to do and what he would be expected to do and why he went on there. So the first clip is a throw-in that comes to him, and it comes to him at chest height. It's different at chest height, of course it is. You've got to take the ball down. But he has been sent on to do that job, and he's got his back to goal, he takes it down on his chest, and after he's chested it, he then turns. It's only a split-second difference, but there's a massive difference. You've got to take your touch, whether it's with your body or whether it's with your foot, whatever it is, you've got to do that first. It can be a split second, half a second later, but you've got to get it under control first, rather than turning while you're trying to control it. And sometimes to the naked eye, there's hardly a difference, but there is a difference. So you'll see Martial take it with his chest, and he turns after he's took it. It's about here, and it gets forward, he gets onto it again, he gets pulled back from behind, and United get a free kick. But slightly better example is one that where the ball is dropping to him. You can see the ball's dropping to Anthony Martial, and there's a defender in front of him, but he's not trying to flick it on. He's not trying to turn before he gets it. You can see that he's just watching the ball. He's waiting for the ball to drop, and he takes it under control. Comes over that player's head, and he takes it under control. Now, his touch isn't perfect, and his touch is usually brilliant, Anthony Martial's, but the touch goes, I don't know, maybe a yard, 4 foot to that side. He might mean it, but he might not. But he lets it drop. When he lets it drop, he doesn't try to turn before he's actually took his touch. So he takes his touch, the ball goes 3 feet that way, perhaps 4 feet that way, but because he's taken his touch first, he's still in command. These players are behind him, they can't get to it. So he gets to it first, he plays a 1-2 with Juan Mata, gets it back, a couple of strides forward, again he gets pulled down, he wins a free kick. So, and it's a free kick in a dangerous area this time. Like I say, it's all from one half of one game. So I'm not saying that the situations are exactly the same. They're not exactly the same. But they are jobs of your centre forward that were not being done well enough, or your forwards I should say, one of them was the centre forward, they're not being done well enough by the players when we're not playing well. We're not playing well enough because of that reason. He's been sent on because he can do that job better. So there's, and obviously the situations are not exactly the same. You don't need to say that, I get that. But the coaches will have said, look, let's put it this way. When Jesse hung his leg out, Martial would have took it down on his body. When Mason hung his leg out, Martial would have took it down and looked to get it under and then pass it, or then move with it. Control it first. And one more clip, final clip, the 5th clip that I'm going to put up. Last night, I was watching, and it made me think of it. Last night I was watching Stockport County against West Ham. Did really well, Stockport County, and there's a ball played up. It's in the air to Stockport centre forward. So this is a non-league player playing against a Premier League team. He's being marked by Ogbonna, I think it is, and the ball's played up. It's coming through the air just as it was to Jesse, but he gets his body there. He gets his body there and he takes his touch first. There's a split second the difference, but you can't hold your leg out. You can't turn sideways on. You've got to receive first. And in the fifth clip, you'll see that this Stockport Reed, I think he's called, I'm not sure of his Christian name, but you will see that he just takes his touch and then turns. And it's a massive, massive difference. And lo and behold, he gets a free kick. So it's just, I was about to say it's just a subtle difference. It's not a subtle difference, it's a massive difference. You've got to get your first touch right, get the ball on the floor and go from there. So those clips this afternoon will all be up on Rick the Red UK. I think Anthony Marshall, by the way, because I said it would be about Anthony Marshall, he gets a lot of undue stick. I know he's not scoring goals at the minute and people don't like it because he's not scoring goals, and people talk about the assists. But we've not got, well, maybe, I was about to say we haven't got a striker like that. Maybe Cavani can do that job. I'm not really, he scores goals, Cavani, and he looks quality. But whether he's going to be as good with his back to play as Anthony Marshall is, I don't know. But the number of times I've tried to say it on Twitter and people say, oh, but he's there to score goals. Of course he's there to score goals. It's great if he scores goals. But if everybody else gets the ball on the floor and passes it like he does, he will get more chances. And believe it or believe it not, whoever you are on the field, if you're a forward, like Mason gets plenty of games, and there's the situation there where he's hung a leg out rather than getting his body there and getting the ball under control. If he did that right more often, he would get more goals. Won't necessarily get a goal from that move or the next move or the move after that. But if in the space of 3 games he hangs his leg out 12 times and miscontrols it 12 times, if he does that better every time instead, the moves will develop and the play will be better, and he will end up scoring more goals if he plays better. It's as simple as that. It is so simple. We've got to get the ball under control and pass it, and the fact that Anthony Marshall does it so well so often is completely underappreciated. And as I said in that Twitter thing, by the way, in that tweet, I should say, that I put out there, the idea of him going on, it could have led to goals for us. He was actually sent on. A lot of people won't understand it, but he was sent on. I know he's a centre forward, but he was sent on to get hold of the ball, and the idea of getting hold of the ball is to try and stop them having the ball so that they can't equalise. So in a nutshell, Anthony Marshall was sent on at centre forward to help to prevent them scoring. Think about that. Because of what he does up front, he was sent on to help to prevent them scoring. Not necessarily, obviously it can help us to score, but the prime objective was for him to get the ball on the floor, and the reason for that was to stop them having so much of the ball and for us to have a bit more of the ball up the field. I hope you've enjoyed that little show. It's a massive game tonight. Love us to get these 3 points. I would absolutely love us to get these 3 points tonight against Burnley. I'll be back later on. We'll be doing a live show. I think it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so about 6:45, 6:50 we'll be doing a live show. Guessing what the team might be, seeing what the papers think the team will be, and obviously then the team news will be out and we'll see what we think of it. So like I say, I hope you've enjoyed that little show. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe. Please tell all your friends. If you didn't like it, don't tell anyone. Keep stum.